My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. I'm going to give you my favorite Underdog Fantasy Entry for UFC. I don't know why I said Underdog so weird. Fantasy entry for UFC 290. If you don't know what Underdog Fantasy is, you have two options. One is you come in here, you say higher or lower than these numbers, and you can 20 times your money. It is by far the biggest payout in daily fantasy prop games. Or you can do rivals, which is what we're going to do, and you just say, of these two fighters, which does more of what? Very simple. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm also going to tell you how to get free money. They're going to give you free money to play this. The only thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/underdog, use promo code WWP, and they will instantly match your deposit. If you give them 50, they'll give you 50. You give them 100, they'll give you 100. They will just give you money right there on the spot instantly and say, go ahead, play this game. You don't even need to use your real money to build an entry. You can use the free money they gave you. wewantpicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP. Let's go ahead and talk about these entries. Before I build my entry, let me explain the options here. The first is pick'ems. And in pick'ems, you see these numbers. Alexander Volkanovski, 137.5 strikes. You say higher or lower. Takedowns, 3. Higher or lower. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. If you get 5 of these correct, you 20 times your money. 4, 10, 3, 6, 2, 3. Right? Very simple. You could also add insurance, where you can get one wrong and still make money. Get 2 wrong, still make some money. But my problem with this week's numbers are I didn't really love any of the higher lowers. You come in here, you may love them, right? Under Bo Nickel, let's add this to my entry. We'll add this to the entry I already built. Under 10.5 strikes on Bo Nickel may sound absurd. The most he's ever landed in his 3 fights under the UFC umbrella was 5. So this number is literally double the most amount of significant strikes he's ever landed it in a fight, period. So I think we're good with the under here. Although there are questions, short notice opponent, all those things, but we should be good. The rest of these, they're just very tricky. They're very, very tricky. 2.5 takedowns. Jimmy Crute, he took down Alonzo Menafield 5 times the first time they fought. He should get 3, but you never know. Rematches are tricky. People learn their lessons. They come back different. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to rivals. What rivals is, it's the 2 fighters in a fight. So, for example, Alexandre Pantoja and Brandon Moreno in the co-main event. Who is going to get more takedowns between the 2 of them? And they're going to give Alexandre Pantoja a half a takedown. They're going to give him a half. So, if Brandon Moreno gets 1 takedown and Alexandre gets 0, Brandon Moreno hit. It's just that simple. Whoever gets a takedown here or has 1 more takedown than the other person, it'll pay out. If there's no takedown at all, and you have Pantoja, then you'll get paid because he's starting with a half. So I actually am going to take Brandon Moreno here. I think he's going to wrestle somewhat often. We saw that in his last fight. We've seen that in his more recent fights. He started to work in some takedowns. I just need 1 out of him. I don't know if Pantoja is going to be able to get Brandon Moreno down. So I just need 1 takedown out of Brandon Moreno, and that should hit. And I'm going to have similar logic with Alexander Volkanovski. If you remember on the Pick'ems screen, Volk's takedown line was 3. Well, this is basically giving him a 2.5 takedown line because Yair Rodriguez isn't going to be shooting takedowns. So Alexander Volkanovski can get 3 takedowns and this hits. Very, very simple. He can get 5 and it hits, whatever it is. But I'll do it here instead of rivals because in rivals with a 3 takedown line, on the pick'em with a 3 takedown line, he needs 4 for it to hit. At a rivals, he only needs 3 for it to hit. I do think it hits. I mean, he's not going to be wanting. What is up with me? He's not going to want to be striking 25 minutes with Yair Rodriguez. So I imagine Alexander Volkanovski is going to wrestle and wrestle often. He's coming off that fight where he had a ton of wrestling in his camp there as well. So that should be pretty safe. And then we're going to go all the way down to Alonzo Menafield. Significant strikes. Listen to this stat. I think they messed this line up. Who's going to land more significant strikes in this fight? They're giving Alonzo a half to start. This is a rematch. Okay? Do you want to know who landed more strikes in their first fight? Alonzo Menafield did. 66 significant strikes to 31. Alonzo Menafield doubled Jimmy Crute's strikes in their last fight. But for some reason on this line, they're basically saying it's dead even and actually will give Jimmy the slight edge. So I'll take that all day long as you're building your entries. I think Alonzo Menafield plus 5 on these significant strike rivals should be sort of the backbone or whatever you're building. And I think we're good. The rest of these are a little sketchy. We're going to do insured. I always do insured. I already have an entry. We'll just do another one very quickly. We're going to go ahead and lock that in. So we got Bo Nickel under 10.5 significant strikes. Brandon Moreno rivals minus a half a takedown. Alexander Volkanovski rivals minus 2.5 takedowns. Alonzo Menafield rivals plus a half a takedown. That's my entry. I'm pretty confident in this. If you want to build your own or tail mine, whatever you want to do, at least go get your free money. WeWantPicks.com/underdog. That promo code is WWP.